Wow, this is interesting. That was interesting. Very interesting. Let me turn this down a little bit. I'm listening to meditation music. I'm doing that again today. Um, and I accidentally, almost accidentally uploaded the video to the wrong channel and went live on the wrong channel. But when I went live, or when I was trying to go live on my legacy channel before I even realized I was still signed in over there, it was like it popped up with this error. And it was like, you can't go live right now. I was like, what? And then I looked and I saw that I was on the wrong channel, but it worked over here. So, yeah, weird, right? I just want to start this by saying eye to eye, the letter I, the number two, the letter I, from a Goofy movie. I keep seeing this hermit and this necromancer is on Spotify now, and it's one of my favorite songs, and I would highly suggest giving it a listen. But, ooh, Knight of Wands and the Two of Swords and the Hangman. Oops, Hangman, Two of Swords, Knight of Wands. That looks like somebody's made a decision to me. At least they'll be brave. This Scorpio full moon is intense. It's bringing me dreams that I don't know if I want to have. Ooh, there's the Ace of Chalices. This actually came out today in the video that's uploading right now. Okay, so basically I did that, and I kept seeing the Queen of Cups. Oh, wow. Ace of Chalices and the Magician. I kept seeing the Ivory Shield, and I was like, I wonder where the Archangel of Healing is. And then I saw the Archangel of He Sleep. I wonder where the Archangel of Healing is. She Sleep. The Convalescent with the Holy Water at the bottom of the deck. Still. And so I'm going to just look. I want to do it suit by suit, so I'm going to start with Cups and then Earth, or Chalices, Orbs, Scepters, and then Swords. Chalices, Orbs, Scepters, and Swords. And I'm gonna pull the energies around them, like in front of them, behind them. Hopefully this will be quick. I'm gonna give myself until like noon 30 before I do this work. And I'm gonna be working. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Because I don't know. Maybe I'll pull the Emperor and the Empress at the end. Maybe not. This will be semi-reminiscent of the thing I did, I guess, before, but instead of putting them all in one spread, I'm just going to look at them individually and see what's up. So let's start with the King, with the Ivory Shield and the Archangel of Healing. That's the King and the Queen of Cups. So let's see. Let's do two cut and two more. Oh, there's the Emperor. I'm calming down now. That song got me hype. I love that song so much. Now I got my meditation music back on. I've been seeing the High Priestess, the Hermit a lot today. Oh, there's the Wheel of Fortune making another appearance. All right. We're going to go bottom up. So card at the bottom of the deck. Oh, wow. Two cards. Wow. So three majors at the bottom of the deck. And then the Queen of Pentacles right there. So the first card at the bottom is the Wheel of Life. Then is Apocalypse, Judgment. And then it's the Empress. That's interesting. Okay. So I'm going to be looking for the Ivory Shield. And then the Lovers is sitting behind that behind the Queen of Pentacles, the Ebony Shield. Oh my gosh, with the Eight of Wands and the High Priestess, I believe that's the Priestess, yeah, with the Eight of Wands and the High Priestess behind the Lovers. And then we got the Stronghold right here. Ooh, all of these, oh my gosh. Well, there she is. Okay. How am I going to do this? I'm going to pull one oh my gosh. This is a lot. I'm actually going to shuffle these up and pull one that I've already seen because one of the strongholds came out before the Queen of the Ivory Shield. And so they come with messages, right? So I got to pick the message, and I'll pick this one. Don't know what it is. I didn't really look at the camera, but I'll put it face down because I want to be surprised. Now the Holy See is at the top. So the cards before, oh, so these are the cards. It was the Stronghold of the Grail, and then the Ivory Shield. So accurate or suiting right. We have the Page of Cups and then the Queen of Cups, followed by the Dark Horse. If you're ever lonely, stop. You don't have to be. Okay. And then the Ten of Cups is what's coming after that Dark Horse, followed by the Ten of Swords, followed by this Archangel Commanders. I've been seeing that King of Swords so much. I've got myself a notion, and one I know that you'll understand. We set the world in motion by reaching out for each other's hand. Five of Chalices and the Five of Orbs are together. There's the Emperor. And there's the Star. Here she is. So we're going to have the Mason, Three of Pentacles, Three of Orbs, sorry. I'll set it here. Followed by the Archangel of Healing. Followed by the Reaper. With the Scarlet, Golden. I do it every time. With the Golden Shield and the Keeper. And this Ten of Pentacles Dynasty sitting after that Archangel of Healing. So what's at the top of the deck? Slash the bottom was the Knight of Swords. Okay, so I'm going to put all these back. So let's look at this. Let's dig into it. So the message that she brought is the Priestess, after I was talking about seeing the Priestess, and another water energy. So the Ivory Shield is sitting between basically the High Priestess and the Dark Horse. That's someone, now the top or the bottom is this Nine of Wands Malice. And the Nine of Wands Malice actually came out at the end of that. I was going to say something, but I got distracted. 1 second. I need to breathe for a second. Okay. All right. It's fine. What am I doing? Okay. So she's sitting between this Dark Horse and the High Priestess. This is actually interesting because these are the two most intuitive cards in the deck. The High Priestess being the first, and then the Queen of Cups is actually the minor of intuition. Just like the Ten of Swords could be the minor of the Death card, the Nine of Cups could be the minor of the Star. What else? The Four of Wands could be the minor of the World. The Tower. What's the minor of the Tower? The suit of fives? Every five? I don't know. Anyway, so it's interesting that the High Priestess is coming out with this Stronghold of the Grail. I feel like if you have been, or whatever, it's like her intuition is on point right now. Like on point right now. And there's this Dark Horse. And the Dark Horse, if we talk about it outside of the energy of the Seven of Wands, the Dark Horse is the one that it's like the underdog, the person who's counted out, but who takes victory anyway. It's the one that people didn't necessarily expect, the one who rises to prominence out of the shadows, right? Out of the darkness. Um, and so maybe this ivory shield. Let me look at that ebony shield and see what's around her. I know it was like the lovers and something else before. There's the Archangel of Mysteries. I mean, I guess I'm gonna go to the ebony shield next. But let's just, I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta follow the feeling. I feel like that should be a song, or it's in a song. Here she is. So she's sitting between Apocalypse and the world. This ebony, the world, Apocalypse and the lovers. This ebony shield is the Queen of Pentacles. Um, so between Apocalypse and the lovers, which is very similar energy, right? Because Apocalypse could be the dark horse, and then the lovers is this high priestess. That's what she knows. But it's like, where am I? I need to focus. Why am I so like I feel busy? Is this anxiety? It's like I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of busy energy sitting between like the heart and the throat space. It's primarily it's like there's a lot of busy energy in the heart space that's trying to like go up to the throat space, but it's like hitting a wall or a ceiling. There's some blockage there. Oh, wait, it's moving up. So there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of nervousness. Maybe it's just a lot of energy going on right now. I don't know. Um, Maybe I need to turn this up. I'm listening to meditation music again. I mean, you probably already know that if you're watching this. Okay, so flanking this ivory shield is this high priestess through way of the stronghold of the Grail and this dark horse. This is all about knowing that you're going to be victorious in the end. And that's what gives this dark horse the strength to keep fighting, right? Because it's like if you're the person that everyone counts out, you don't have the strength of the support of other people to really like bolster you to keep you running the race, right? All you have is what is inside of you that is telling you not to give up and to keep going and to keep fighting. Which makes sense, I guess, why we have this high priestess here, because that's literally the only person that this dark horse is going to get confirmation from. Because no one else, it's the dark horse. No one else is there to like be like, you got this, like you can do it. Um, right. But that's the space that she's sitting in. That's why she can stand so proud and so tall with her shield, right? Because look at she's like, let me look at her expression. I feel like she's looking a little smug, low key. Maybe it's just me. And not smug in a cocky way, just like assured. She looks very assured and very at peace. Sitting on this archangel of healing is the Mason and the Reaper. So, I mean, when it comes to whoever is healing in this situation, there's like one person who's standing guard, defending their post because they know that like their light, they know the darkness that the other person is going through, right? And with this high priestess, they probably like know it. It's like they know the darkness. I feel like the other person might know that they know this darkness, but it's like on this side, there's this spiritual operation going down on this person. And you have the Reaper and this Archangel of Healing. So this is it's like it's rough energy, but this is definitely like Scorpio. Like not only the Reaper, but this heavy fixed water. This is literally Scorpio. Both of these cards are Scorpio energy, fixed water and the Reaper. They're both Scorpio. So, but then we have it coming into this Venus retrograde season when it's all about partnerships. Also, hey Miyoshi, hola. I'm just running through looking for the Royals. Um, it's a Capricorn card, but this is all about beginning that foundation, right? So we have all this Scorpionic energy backing this healing and this transformation. I feel like Scorpio energy done improperly is what leads to people getting like more depressed, right? Because Scorpio energy, like they're fixed water, so like they can get deep and they can kind of get stuck down there sometimes. Um, but I feel like with the Archangel of Healing here, it's all about rebranding the self. Ooh, I've never felt the Three of Pentacles as rebranding the self, but there's rebranding the self, and then there's coming into cooperation with somebody else. How are you doing today? I think I slept a little more. I had a dream that. Did I have that? I did have. I had the dream yesterday too. I had a dream yesterday. Then I had another dream today. Ooh, the hollow void. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Force. The cards that just came out. The hollow void, Four of Cups came out first. And then the Two of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords came out. So that's interesting. Talking about these dreams. Woke up feeling good, but these dreams. That Scorpio moon came in like a wrecking ball. It really is. And I feel like that's because of kind of sort of everything that's at stake right now. Um, and what came out? The Reaper actually came out. So the cards that came out today. Oh, it's processing now, I think. Yeah, it is. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I go ahead into the studio and publish this. So as soon as it's done processing, it'll just post. I ain't got no thumbnail today. I ain't taking a picture. So at least I got it on the right channel this time. Ooh, oh no. I'm so like May. It's gonna be May. Oh, I don't have to publish this one? Well, YouTube. I feel like that's interesting. I wonder. Give me 1 second. Oh, snap. Sunny G. What are you talking about? One. Give me one moment. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. It's because I left. Oh wow. Oh, woo, that kind of hurts a little bit. Surprisingly, I feel like I'm affected by that a little bit more than I expected. um, Give me 1 second though. I'm gonna check something else really quick. Because I don't know if it's just this or if it's what. Nope, says public. So, okay. When it's done processing, it'll be up. So one of my friends just informed me, what's it say? Oh, I need to pop this chat out. Hold up, wait. I just need to open my eyes. Oh, wait, I can zoom in. Hey, that didn't really help, but it helped a little bit. It's like everyone else but you feeling it, or it's hitting you in a transformative way versus the emotional and deceptive energy others getting hit with. I don't feel Scorpio energy as deceptive. I don't even want to get into these dreams I've been having because, I mean, it doesn't have to be Scorpio though. Whenever I have dreams sometimes when I talk to people or when people talk to me and they tell me stuff that I don't necessarily consciously want to know, but I get to know. And then it comes around where the conversation happens or the information comes out, and I don't know if it's like to prepare me for it before it happens, or if it's just like something that's heavy on that person's mind or heavy on that person's heart. And if I have an emotional connection to them, or sometimes if I just like know them, um, then it comes to me and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's the benefit of being ruled by Neptune, I guess, right? Dreams. Oh, as in people finding secrets out, are things being revealed to them? Okay, then yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. Then, if that's what you meant by deceptive, that's definitely what I'm feeling. And I'm just like, oof, oof. Okay, so Four of Orbs, Archangel of Glory, and the Six of Swords. I feel like this is about moving forward gracefully when it comes to whatever situation. Bottom of the deck is the Magician. Um, Thank you for the break. I think, at least in my case, it's like things that need to be revealed. Ooh, Two of Cups and the Moon. This necromancer's been popping out a lot today too. But accurate. I feel like in my case it's interesting because the night before I had the first dream, I was talking to somebody and we were like laying on a couch or something, like facing each other. And I remember saying to him, like, there are some things that I wish I didn't have to tell you. Like, there are things that I wish you just knew because I don't really want to say it. And then I tried to I kind of reached out to that person and then they like pulled back. And I was like, that's weird. And then the next night, I have a dream. And then that was like yesterday, 2 nights ago, I had a dream. And last night I had another dream. And now I'm like, I wonder if that person thought the same thing. There are some things I wish I didn't have to tell you. There are some things that I wish you just knew because I don't want to have to say it to you. And I just hope maybe the dreams ain't true. That's all I'm gonna say. Maybe it ain't true. Maybe it's not. Because in the dream, and then something else came out. A whole bunch of I recorded 3 videos yesterday, And like the last one I did live, and that's the only one that's up because the other ones wouldn't post. So I was like, maybe that's just for me then. And they were pretty personal, or they kind of sort of got personal at some points. And so, um, but yeah. And I remember saying that to that person. I remember looking them in their eyes. And even though there was like some distance between us and we weren't touching, it was like it was a long-ish couch. Because my legs are they're not like super long, but I mean, it's like we were both there, but there was still distance between us. And I was like, there were things that I wish that you just knew, things that I really don't want to have to tell you, or things I don't want to have to like say and vocalize and verbalize. And then I'm hit with them dreams, and I'm like, oh, well, goodness. All right, let me stop. Okay. Ooh, 8 of orbs. Bottom of the deck is that hollow void again, with a 7 of orbs behind it. And then here's that 4 of orbs and the 2 of cups, followed by the moon. So I got to do more shuffles to bust them up. Followed by the 4 of wheels, or the 4 of wheels, followed by the 4 of wands, which formed a wheel. Okay. I'm going to look for the for the ebony shield and the archangel of mysteries next. I'm finding the kings and queens and seeing what energy is around them. But yeah, it's intense, but I feel like it's also necessary. Ooh, 10 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. I've been seeing the Ace of Pentacles a lot at the cut, and it's been coming out with the 2 of Pentacles as well for the past few days. Ooh, but then there's a Tower with that 10 of Cups, so okay. Let's give this a few, shuffle all that out. I'm going to turn my meditation music back up a little bit because I turned it down a little bit because I need to be grounded right now. But something else came out yesterday because it was like, oh, look, I'm going to be looking for her, the Archangel of Mysteries at the cut. Okay, I really got to shuffle this up now because, oh, so I'll give it like 3 more. But something that came out yesterday, the Lovers came out in reverse. I used the vice versa yesterday, and it came out in reverse on the front side and on the back side. And when it came out on the back side, a lot of stuff came out yesterday, but the feeling was that like one of the first cards that came out was the Emperor in reverse. It was the backside of the Emperor in reverse where you saw a fire. And I was like, the Emperor is learning how to light his own flame before he can sort of go anywhere else, right? Before you can trust anyone else or entrust, ooh, the Lovers and that Queen of Cups. Before you can entrust anyone else with the flame, you have to light it yourself. And it's not that you can't depend on anyone, but it's like you just got to know how to do that. Now with the 10 of Pentacles, that Queen of Cups. Okay, so all right. So we're gonna get this started right here. I'm gonna give it a few shuffles, and then I'll proceed. Eight of Swords. The caster just made an appearance, so it's like don't get too excited. But there's the Force. Oh, well, hey. So the Queen of Shields, or the Queen of Shields, the Queen of Pentacles said, "Let's get this started." She literally came out with these 2 cards. So flanking this Ebony Shield is Strength and the Sacred Fire, Ace of Wands. Ooh, that's a lot of fire energy. She's like, let's go. And so I'm going to flip this over. First card out at the bottom is this Ivory Shield next to the Corruptor and the Lovers. And then there's Apocalypse. So that's interesting because the Ebony Shield was actually between Apocalypse and the Lovers before. But now they're both coming out sort of like in the tail energy of this Ivory Shield. Right. I'm just going to look for the Archangel of Mysteries, and I think I just saw her. No, that's the Archangel of Healing. Now my throat is getting a little... But one thing that came out is that, like, I feel like there's connection on an almost intrusive level, but it isn't. It's a very, very, very deep connection. I don't know why these two came out together. So we have the Holy See and the Reaper together, which is all about restructuring things, right? It's like there's some oppressive structure, commitments to misery, whatever, that need to be changed and transformed. And this is coming out a few cards after this Emperor who was in this haunt space. So that's interesting. Um, but it's like there's this connection on a very, very deep level where there's a sharing of a lot of things. Um, and one of the things that's being shared, is kind of sort of, it's like when these connections, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Like I do, but I'm like, oh. When these connections come together, there's emerging on a lot of levels. And so there's a lot of communication that doesn't necessarily have to take place um, with words. And there's an understanding, and there's this undercurrent that lies deeper as the connection is really connected. And so there's emerging on a lot of levels as well. And there's emerging on the shadow level, right? Which is important, which is why every time I ain't even gonna go into all that. What's this? Ace of Cups. Okay, so we have this outlaw, hangman, coming out after this Ten of Swords, by the way. So Ten of Swords into this outlaw, into the Ace of Cups, the Five of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. So this is six cups right here. And I've been feeling the Six of Cups kind of sort of lately. It's like I'm feeling the Eight of Wands as divine intervention or a message from the divine lately. And I'm feeling the Six of Cups as like rewriting stories, right? So we're rewriting this story in a way that brings love and peace to areas that we didn't have it before. And it's like, since we are, it's almost like we're irrigating the land to bring the water further from the bank so we can make our land more fertile. And as we do that, it's making our land more fertile. Like, you're going to be able to grow more crop and you're going to be more successful. Expanding sort of the area with this Knight of Cups sitting right behind it with this Ace of Swords. Oof, oof, oof. What was I talking about? I've been all over the place a lot too because there's like just so much going on. I've been seeing the Hermit a lot today too. Flanking the wow, and then the King of okay, this is interesting. So it is the Hollow Void again. The Hollow Void, and then this King of Cups, Archangel Commander, followed by the Hermit. Right? So this King of Swords is sitting between the Hermit and the Four of Cups. I feel like the Four of Cups is not a great energy to Hermit on because it can color some things darker than what they may actually be. But when it comes time to face the shadow, it's like to really fully, truly integrate the shadow. Sometimes you have to see it at its darkest. And so it's like it's really gonna take you there. But this Archangel Commander is the angel of storms and battles. Like I feel like he's the angel that you like if you're fighting the forces of darkness, even your own darkness, like he's the one that you want at command, right? And then out comes we'll put this on top. Out comes this Scarlet Shield. Yes, the Scarlet Shield, Queen of Swords. So the king and the queen are already together, separated by this hermit energy, right? Where is it? There it is. Separated by that hermit energy. And then after her is this discerning one. I feel like a lot of these may be kind of sort of mirroring the same thing, where it's like they both share this hermit, but that's what I was kind of saying. And it's like, and it kind of sort of came out yesterday, and I've just been feeling it. But it's like when those shadows merge and when those shadows come together, it's emerging on like every level, right? Like these are two people who are going to be able to see into each other's darkness. Now, if this isn't a two people for you, then like this is you coming into an understanding with your shadow, right? Because in my mind, for whatever frequency that I feel led to more so than whatever, it's like both people have to be fully integrated. So if you're not fully integrated within yourself, you're not going to attract someone who is fully integrated within themselves, right? Wholeness came out whenever that came out. It was a few days ago. Um, and so, but it's like, once you're fully integrated and once you have that connection within you, that's when you can really begin to deepen the connection with someone else. But when you deepen the connection with that person, then it's like, in some ways, you get a new shadow, but you also get a new light because they are so connected. Um, it's a lot, but basically, what came out, and I haven't even said it yet. Where's some water? I need some water. 1 second. Um, so basically, because something came out, and I was like, I don't know why there would be so much fear and why there would be so much hesitation. But then something came out where it's like they're they can hear your shadow. And then I was like, okay. If that's the case, I mean, it ain't nothing said. You know how like you can just be a little rowdy sometimes, like even if it's not necessarily what you truly think or feel or believe. If somebody, and I ain't saying nobody did nobody dirty, but oh look, and then here's this seeker. If somebody did somebody dirty, ooh, the seeker, the seeker, the bereaved, and the chariot, followed by the new world order, followed by this angel. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. So I was like, someone is going to be seeking this healing, right? From that Three of Swords, so that they can take movement, so that they can claim, excuse me, everything they want with this New World Order. But then we run into this angel. And I feel like the angel here is all about, it's all about internal alchemy. This is self alchemy. I feel like, where did the angel just go? I put her on the bottom. I feel like with this angel, like this is not a healing that's gonna come to you. Like this is a healing and an integration that you're gonna have to do. Right. This is in this period of time before everything starts shifting and moving. There's like this is the time where we do things ourselves. Like I've been saying, it's like I feel like in January, February, we were getting the keys so we can drive. This is the time where we're actually driving. So it's like, you had your sort of like permit phase and you have like your driver's test. I guess this is like the test, driver's test period of that. It's because it's like the people who take action and the people who move in this time of uncertainty, in this time where there are so many energies that are so chaotic and all over the place. And it's not chaotic in the sense that it's like rooted in chaos. It's just chaotic in the sense that there's a lot of things going on and there's not really a consensus. It's like there was this breaking of consensus. And so now everything is just like scattered and all over the place. And so you have to find solidarity and peace within yourself to create your own sort of consensus, to create your own internal Hierophant structure that then reaches out and integrates what fits into the new story that you're creating for yourself. So this a lot of this is self-driven. Um, and that's just how it is right now. Um, you know, it's kind of sort of been we've been heading in this direction for a while, even before everything kind of sort of fell apart. So if you got a head start on it, you may be having a little bit easier of a time right now. Ooh, well, so we have the star, the healer, the empress, and the tower. So this time the empress is in an interesting spot. But it's like, what will you choose? What will you choose to create? Because the empress is all about creation and its manifestation. The empress is kind of sort of, I mean, it's Venus, and Venus is the sister planet to Earth. And so this is like Gaian energy right here. I'm feeling her as Gaia today, or right now, not today, just right now. And so, like, this is the choice that we're sort of sitting at. The 16 and the 17, there's a choice to move forward and to claim healing, but you know. And then we come up on this 10 of Cups, followed by that Knight of Pentacles, and then that Justice, followed by the Sun. Justice and the Sun. Interesting. Okay, where is this King? Oh, here she is, finally. Oh, wow. So, the Archangel of Mysteries. Okay, this is a whole story. Um, and I'm actually going to pull this card right here. Not going to look at it, but I pulled it. I think I know what that card is. No, I don't know, actually, because I moved it. So two cards before, I'm sorry. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Orbs, Journeyman, the Archangel of Mysteries, and the Two of Pentacles, Two of Orbs, the Nocturne. So this Archangel of Mysteries is sitting in between the Ten of Pentacles. So on the Earth side, this is actually good. This is really good on the Earth side. On the Cup side, it was not bad, but it was what it was. And so before all that is the Sun, the warrior, and then after is the stronghold of the Grail veil, stronghold of the veil, followed by this Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups, behind the Two of Cups is this Moon card, and behind that Moon card is this Four of Wands. And behind the Four of Wands is the Keeper. Right? And so this is the card I pulled as her message, and her message is this Chariot. Right. So we have the Sun before, and we have this Chariot through the Archangel of the Veil later. This is all about physical movement. Like your world, your reality is about to take off. But that takeoff is a result of all of this internal work, all of this internal healing that you're doing. I feel like a lot of people are being exposed to a lot of darkness right now. And that darkness being their own internal darkness, that darkness being forced to live with. The darkness is being forced to live with your choices, right? And there are a lot of people whose mental health is kind of sort of taking a hit right now. And it's just like there are a lot of ways to find distraction right now. And there are things that absolutely need to be done to get us the healing that we need to get to move into this new space. And there isn't going to be a lot of excuse. And that's one thing, like, even in January, when like things were, it was this sort of same element of chaos where it was just like so much energy in the air that like it seemed like no one could get clear communication, no one could get clear guidance, no one could get clear this or clear that. But when I talk to people, like everybody, about all kinds of things, it's like they'd be like, I don't know what to do. But then, like, when you ask them, they know what to do. The I don't know what to do is I have to do something that I don't really want to do, and I'm seeking a route of easier ascent. And it's like there is no easier ascent. Right now, the only ascension really is doing the hardest thing, right? I was watching Teen Wolf, and there was this monster. I don't remember what it was called, but it feeds on fear. And to find the monster, they had to follow their fear. They had to take the darkest route. Um, yeah, and it's like I feel like there's almost this. I guess everyone's journey is different, right? But I feel like everyone is getting something new right now. And so it doesn't matter too much how far you've come up until this point. What matters is the movement that you're doing right now, right? And so I feel like there's a danger for some people, not you specifically, because like I'm in this myself, right? There's a danger for some people to get complacent in the healing that they've already done because you look at where you've come. But again, it's like we're in a new phase, we're in a new chapter. Like what's coming up is like in this period of time right now. And so the movement that you do right now is what's going to be bringing in whatever. Um, and that's kind of sort of what I was getting to at the same time of like, we can sort of take these, or we can be tempted to take these easier routes, especially if we've already done some hard stuff. But it's like that's not where your reward is going to be. Um, but Two of Cups, Necromancer, Four of Wands, and the Keeper. It's like, I mean, I feel like this energy is self-explanatory. Um, so I'm not going to explain it. What's left at the top? Oh, the Stronghold of the Grail. Let's see what her message is. I'll take this card as her message right here. Well, that ended up being three cards. You see that? Okay, so this may be clarifying what I just said. Oh, wait, I gotta get another message. One of the messages I pulled for the Stronghold of the Grail is the Stronghold of the Zephyrs. And so I'm gonna take this card right here. This is the Zephyrs message. Not gonna look at it yet. So the Stronghold of the Grail, Page of Cups, is bringing us the Devil, the High Priestess, and the Six of Pentacles. Right. So this is all about, because like the Six of, no, that was the Six of Cups. What'd you say? Yeah. And there are some things that are like, for me, it's not that they were like, they're not necessarily, well, my test, my trial right now, what I'm going through isn't necessarily healing. What I'm going through is being decisive. That's my huge thing right now. And it started with everything that started. I mean, that's like literally when everyone else started going through their like facing their darkness, I started facing my indecision. And it was like this great divide within myself. And I kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, being indecisive. And of course, that's the pattern that I always followed. And so then it just put me in a space to really question and look at the things that I was manifesting. And when I looked at the things I was manifesting, that put me in a space to actually decide for the first time. And so the decision that I made isn't one that's been easy to stick to. And it's like a bunch of different stuff has been coming up, testing whether I'll stick to my decision or not. And like that's the phase, that's the trial that I'm in right now. And so that's why it could look very, very, very different, but it could be just as important and just as difficult, but a lot less heavy. Um, there's actually a few things that I'm like working through right now, but that being decisive is the biggest one, or is one of the biggest ones. And it's interesting because before I reached the space I'm in now, like I knew that my previous challenge was the biggest one that I would have to face. And I was like, after I tackle this mountain, like it's gonna unlock literally everything. But once I reached the summit of that mountain, I kind of sort of realized that there was a bigger mountain behind it. And so I did get a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff came in and a lot of stuff began to move. But then it's like there's a like you're not done yet. You're never done. Yeah. And that's why like it's really, but like I'm the type of person where it's like I can be practically analytical, where it's like, okay, this is happening, that's happening. What does this mean? Because whenever you're in a space of confusion, that's devil energy. Whenever a lot of different things are sort of happening, and whenever things are trying to pull your attention, it can be devil energy. And so I'm always the type of person to like try to look and see beyond. And that's when I found out in like January, it's like, oh, so this is what's happening right now. And it's almost like we're kind of sort of being given choice for the first time. And so when a lot of people were like, I'm confused because like I get this message and then I get this message, and it's like, I don't know if I should do this or if I should do that. It's like, I don't know. It's all about looking deeper and going beyond. But with this high priestess coming out between the devil, this is a message of, oh my gosh, I just said that like the ivory shield, the stronghold of the girl came out with the ivory shield. Uh, yeah, the stronghold of the girl came out with the ivory shield, and the high priestess is the ivory shield's message, or the stronghold of the girl's message again. The high priestess is her message again, but this time she's bringing the devil and the six of pentacles, and this is all about knowing what you're giving your energy to, and this is also about what you leave yourself open to receive. This is about the fantasies that we entertain. That's like how I do, like that's, but I'm like, because I feel like it would have been a different card. But I guess it makes sense because that's energetically what we give to. This is about the fantasies that we entertain and what they're rooted and grounded in. Because what's being picked up right now more than anything is intention. And it came out a while ago. So I don't remember when. It was definitely on my legacy channel. But it was like, there may be some people who are like, I'm going to manifest this and I'm going to manifest that to prove to this person and to prove to that person like how wrong they am and like how wrong they are about me. Oh gosh. To prove how wrong they are, to like this is going to blow up in their face. They're going to regret leaving me. They're going to regret doing this. They're going to regret doing that. If that's the space that you're manifesting from this space. And if you're trying to manifest from this space, we're coming out of a time where it's going to be less effective. Because things are shifting, things are moving, things are breaking apart so that they can rise to the top, right? And if that's the source you're manifesting from, it's gonna. Oh well, Stronghold of the Zephyrs is bringing the sacred cinnabar, Ace of Swords, bringing the truth, bringing clarity. Um, but if that's the space you manifest from, it's gonna. It's like you're adding weight, you're adding density, and to manifest, it's like the thing about manifesting and the thing about thoughts and the thing about prayers when you go from a 3 to a 5 plus to a 3 way is that when you want something that you actually want, and that's why they say like don't like you can't really manifest from a lack mentality, is because down here, for us to really manifest, we have to like send our prayers up, right? But if you attach lack or a heavy emotion to it, you're adding weight, so it makes it more difficult for it to go up, for it to then in turn rain back down. It's just like the water cycle, right? It's like, when it's hot, it evaporates the I should know the water cycle. It all evaporates, and when the clouds get heavy, it precipitates and it comes back down. And then it evaporates, goes back up, precipitates, comes back down. But if you're not manifesting from the right space, it's going to be too heavy to get to the area that it needs to get to pick up weight to come back down, right? And so I feel like with this Archangel of Mysteries, even though this is kind of sort of, well, it is relevant. Well, this is the King and Queen of Pentacles. This is the King and Queen of Manifestation, right? So it's like, not only do you have to be in a space to receive it, where your desires and your actions are on point, right? Because if you manifest something, sometimes what you get is the information on how to get it, or what you get is a plan, what you get is an itinerary, what you get is a ticket that will lead you to one destination, that will then lead you to another destination, that will lead you to another destination, that will get you that thing. You might not manifest the thing straight up. You may manifest a way to get there. So if you manifest a way to get there, but you don't have the strength or the fire to actually pursue it, you're not going to get it. And then on this side, when it comes to expressing and when it comes to transmitting, because this is to receive it, right? When it comes to asking for it, it's for you to find this balance and for you to find this peace and for you to stay in that balance and peace to get it to come down. The Nocturne is all about moving things from one world to another. This is all about the bridge, right? And so you have to maintain the bridge. This is giving me like Heimdall vibes from Thor, right? Because he stands like, you have the Bifrost and then you have the bridge, and it's like a gate between worlds. But he has to stand there and keep the bridge open before you can even get to the place where you can go to a different world. And I feel like there's a lot of weight and there's a lot of heaviness in a lot of areas. And there's a lot of lack of it's not lack of drive or lack of conviction, but it's like lack of a willingness to do what needs to be done to get the thing that you want. I feel like when a lot of times when people hear about manifestation or they come upon the law of attraction, it's like, I want money, I'm going to attract the money, or I want this, I'm going to attract that. Where sometimes it's like, you want this, so you're going to attract this opportunity that leads you to that opportunity that's going to come with this test and this trial. It's also going to come with a period of hardship because what you're asking for, you're not yet ready in a space to receive. And so you have to vibrationally purify yourself. You have to lighten up to be in the frequency of the thing that you're asking for. And then after you do all that, comes a waiting period, and then you get it, right? And I feel like if you don't have, um, like, if you're not going to stick through all of that, you're not going to get it. Um, and it's not that like you just won't straight up get it, but it's just like, I don't know. But that's why it's like, it's going to be really important for us to move on the things that we need to move on now and to not get complacent. Because I feel that it's this energy of like, no one is safe and nothing is guaranteed for anybody right now. Even the folks who have been on it, they still have to continue. Um, and it's like, there are going to be some people who get some things. Well, if you want better rewards, you have to continue, but that's all the time, right? But I just feel like, and it came out that like May is just like this Taurus season, May in general. The Ace of Cups came out. A lot of people have been talking about things starting to take place this summer. The Ace of Chalices kind of sort of, at least it validated what some other people have been saying as far as when the summer solstice rolls around, that's when things are really going to pop off. But for me personally, I know that this month is just like huge. And I pulled cards for myself. I use the vice versa for like a yearly forecast. I use the vice versa for month by month, and then I use the wild unknown for zodiac season by zodiac season. And at first, I was like, I don't like these cards, so I'm just gonna take a different path. And then, this year became this year, and I was like, oh well, I'm never doing that again. I like that. I like to feel like I have some bit of control over my life, right? But I got the title card this month. And the title card is the mind your business card. The title card is the you have to live it card. The title card is the we're not going to tell you card. And I guess I didn't really need that card to tell me because I feel it. But I don't know. There's something about this month before things really come around. Justice just came out with this Knight of Pentacles. It's like we reward steadfast work. And the people who keep moving, even when the going is good, they're the ones who great things happen for. Ooh, with the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Those are the wishes that we really grant. All right, now we're going to be looking for the Scarlet Shield and the Archangel Commander. But yeah, it's just, ooh. The Star and the Two of Cups just came out. Now the Emperor and the Two of Cups. What's going to come out next? Is it the Emperor or is it the Two of Cups? The Emperor and the Four of Wands. Okay, nice. So yeah. But I don't know. It's a lot of stuff going down. And it's already like, I don't know. I do know, but some of it is kind of sort of like journey specific. And so it's not necessarily going to resonate for everyone. And it's not necessarily Hangman with the discerning one at the bottom of the deck, followed by that Wheel of Fortune. Doop, doop, doop. Our paths are revealed to us. No one else can really tell us our path. And this is something that's been affirmed for me this year, especially. But also, that's the space that I've been called to because I wanted more control with the Bereaved and the Joyous one at the bottom of the deck, followed by that Chariot and the Keeper. It's all about going beyond. That's kind of sort of like been a theme for me lately. It was like, how do we take this beyond? Like, how do we go beyond? How do we go even further? There are a lot of systems that just got disrupted with the South Node being in Sagittarius. There are things that are open to be rewritten. Then we're going to be moving with the South Node into Scorpio, which is all like really about personal, like, I don't know, it's just this like 3-year period is going to be like, I don't know, I just feel it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be intense. It's going to be huge. There's a possibility for a lot of movement in a lot of ways, but it's all going to be self-driven. And whatever you feel led to do that frightens you the most, that scares you the most, that gets you the most vulnerable, like those are the things to be doing right now. And also what comes to you is the things you should be doing right now. I think I just saw the Scarlet Shield. But we're going to give this a cut. And then I'll proceed looking for, and it's interesting that the shield has always come out before the Archangel. The Queen has always come out before the King. All right, bottom of the deck is New World Order, followed by the Dark Horse, followed by the Corrector. The World, followed by the Seven of Cups, followed by the Seven of Wands, Seven of Cups, and then this Force card again, Strength. That's interesting. And then behind that Strength card is the High Priestess. Okay, looking for the Ebony Shield and looking for the Scarlet Shield and the Archangel Commander. Sorry. Oh, Oh, so the King of Swords. Of course, the King of Swords decided to come up for the Queen of Swords. I've been seeing the King of Swords all over the place. And then we have the Stronghold of the Grail again. Stronghold of the Grail, Archangel Commander, and the Necromancer, the Moon. That's interesting. So actually, the King of Swords is the energy of Aquarius. So that would be the star going into the moon. And then here is this Archangel of Glory, which is going to be the next one I look for, right? Let's see. I'm going to pick one for this Stronghold of the Grail from the cards I've already seen, just like I did last time. Stronghold of the Grail. What's your message? This card right here. I didn't look at it. Let's see. I'm excited. Whatever that is, it excites me. Um, oh, oh no. I was like, oh, here's the Archangel of Mysteries. The Archangel of Mysteries. Oh wow. Okay. So now the Ace of Swords is at the top. Archangel of Glory, King of Wands, Archangel of Mystery, King of Pentacles, and then the Seeker, or the Keeper, sorry. The Angel who illuminates the shadows, and the Angel of Art and Grace. If music or art or something like that is a creative outlet for anybody, like creating, I feel like this is a very creative energy. Because there's something about when you create, it's feeling and channeling those emotions into something. And it's almost like that channeling is going to give you a deeper insight into whatever it is that this archangel is illuminating. And then right after that Keeper comes the Sun card, followed by Justice. So that's really going to bring light to some situation. Okay, that's interesting. There's just like a whole bunch that it's like I don't even know. It's like too much to even begin to really talk about. And then I'm all over the place at the same time, so that probably doesn't help at all. Looking for the Scarlet Shield. Is this her? No, that's the Golden Shield. Is that you? Nah. No, no, no. Ooh. So we have the Seeker. Okay, well. Two of Cups. Ten of Pentacles. The Seeker, followed by the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups, then the Lovers. That's an interesting little combination there. And then we have like right after that, right after the Lovers is the Discerning one, Two of Wands, which is all about. So with the Lovers, it's about choices. The Discerning one, it's about choices, right? This is a crossroad. This is picking one over the other. And with the Discerning one being the Two of Wands in this deck, I feel like there's an unconventional directionality to this. And it's unconventional because after that Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, there may be a change in direction. But again, it's like, whenever you're manifesting something, if you have to go in a different direction to get it, if you don't like the way that direction is going, then you're going to, it's like this anti confirmation bias where it's like you don't want the thing that you have to do to be confirmed. So you're continuously listening for other messages, looking for something that may not resonate with your situation. And this is a lot more January than now, but it may also work now. But it's like you're looking for things, you're making things resonate that don't necessarily resonate for you because you don't like the direction that you're being led in, but then you're calling it confusion. When all you have to do is like listen to it as it comes, right? And then we have the chariot, the initiate, and the reaper, which is very much kind of sort of that energy. This is a pivot, this is a change in direction. And this may be something brand new, or something that you didn't give too much time or energy or effort to. I'm kind of sort of glad I stopped seeing the Eight of Cups as much. Ooh, okay. Well, well, I liked it. We have the champion sitting outside of the situation. Then this Archangel of Healing, followed by the Scarlet Shield, Queen of Swords, followed by the Captor. And after that Captor is this Wheel of Fortune. And after the Wheel of Fortune is the Four of Wands, and then the Emperor. And then this Nine of Wands is also here. Might as well read the rest. Nine of Wands, the Healer, and the Empress. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Four of Wands, the Emperor, and the Nine of Wands. And then we have the Star and the Empress. Like, I feel like on this side, Emperor energy is really having to fight. And it's so, and I guess like if you want to call this like a marriage or something, it could be like a marriage or something, or some kind of reunification, reunion, um, reconsolidation. Is that a word? I know consolidation is to consolidate, but reconsolidation. Um, that this person is having to fight for. It might be rough because this Knight of Wands, she kind of sort of beat up high key. This ain't your I can keep going all day Knight of Wands. This is the I'm gonna stand like I ain't gonna abandon my post, but you know I'm ready for the day to come because things are getting a little rough at night. But on this energy, it's the Star and the Empress, right? So this person is kind of sort of fighting for this, and this person is just like already kind of sort of knows coming in a way. Is this love? Well, I mean, so this is kind of sort of different than this energy. This is just like other energy sort of around the situation, right? And so air is all about thoughts, it's all about communication. So these could be kind of sort of things that are unseen, are not unseen, but things that are unsaid, right? And so it's like you have one person who's kind of sort of, especially with this, it's like since they've done the healing that they did with this Empress, they can see this in a different way. This is a different suite of lessons. But this Emperor, he may be facing his own actions, right? Because it may be dark here, but it's light on the other side of the planet. Maybe, maybe not. Your dream, maybe, maybe not. But that part. So yeah, somebody is like, oof, they fighting. All my life I had to fight. And now that the Malays, I feel like the Malays sat at the top of the deck before. Okay, it's already, oh, it's one, no, it's 12:15. Okay. And I only have one suit left, so I'm still sitting roughly in the space of where I want it to be with time because I got to get to work. I have access to this program now. Excuse me, the way that that's been happening is like so wild. There are so many things going on. What the? This is one of the ugliest emojis I've ever seen, and it is so creepy. So, the Archangel of Storms and Battles. Ooh, he is fighting battles in the dark. He's fighting battles that people will never see, claiming victories in ways that it's like the unseen hero, like an invisible hero. That's who he is right now. She brought the Shining Flame, the Knight of Wands. What's that about? The Shining Flame is the emissary from the land of desires. And the moon is all about it can be unspoken desire, right? I feel like this is giving me like Prometheus vibes. This is Promethean energy. Prometheus took the flame of the gods and taught it to man, right? Prometheus gave fire to man, and the fire that Prometheus gave them was recognition of who they are, gave them insight into their souls. And the reason why Prometheus was punished for giving fire to the man is because when man comes into the full awareness of who he is, then it challenges the rule of the gods. Because, right, as humans, we're created in the image of God. We all have the divine spark within us, and we don't need a preacher, a pastor, somebody pulling cards. We don't need anybody outside of ourselves to connect to that which is already within us, right? And so it threatens the systems that are built upon that, but also it threatens those who would call themselves gods because when you have access to it yourself, you don't need somebody else to do it for you. Now, luckily for the guys in place at the time, being a human also comes with all of the sort of drawbacks and, not drawbacks, but all of the lessons that we have to learn from comes from all of the healing and integration that we still need to do. And so we still have people in power over us because sometimes we need people to make decisions for us, you know? And I feel like it's kind of sort of apparent nowadays that in some ways it's like we're just not ready to live in a world without laws yet, right? If everyone was kind and compassionate and empathetic, then it's like we wouldn't have to make laws against murdering people because people just wouldn't murder people, you know? Like we wouldn't have to do this because people just wouldn't do it. We wouldn't have to have systems in place against that because people wouldn't do it. At the same time, we wouldn't need to have sort of charities because people would just be charitable. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of sort of like Prometheus still got punished, but it's like, they're like, whew, like they haven't figured it out yet. And because like whenever you give your energy to, it's just, I don't know. I do know, but I'm not going to go into it any further. Really, I need to wrap this up because I got work to do. So the Archangel of Healing and the Captor. That's Promethean energy. This is like Jesus energy. Um, Born to set the captives free, right? But this is about us being our own Jesus. He was crucified, died on the cross, rose again after 3 days. He went down to hell to give those people who had already died before he gave the ultimate sacrifice the opportunity at heaven, right? Because it's kind of sort of like before Jesus died, then like it was really, really hard to get to heaven. So, like, I mean, Jesus died and went to hell. So, like, But after he gave that sacrifice, like that's why they say that like we're covered by his blood. He died for our sins, right? Because it gives us an opportunity in our flawed nature, inherently flawed nature, to still ascend, right? Minority Report, good movie. I'll check it out if it's like free. If I can find it somewhere for free, then I'll give it a watch. Um, but yeah, this is all about because if this is Promethean, if this up here is getting you to recognize you, then this would be getting you to break free of the limitations and barriers that other people have put on you and that you have put on yourself. Because it's like, even if you recognize the divine spark within yourself, if your mind is still entrapped, or if your mind is still extremely guarded, or if you still fall into these like mental traps and mental prisons, then it keeps you separated. All of this is like 12th house energy. 12th, I mean, the Pisces, the moon card did come out. Netflix, I don't have Netflix right now. And like The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is coming back. The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is one of my favorite series on Netflix. And I was like, wow, Netflix is really coming from my wallet right now. And then in my email, Netflix was like, hey, like we miss you, come back. But was they offering me any kind of discount? No. They couldn't even give me a week or like a month at $8 before I come back to full price. Like when Hulu was in my email, I feel like Hulu would be like, "Hey, like here's this and here's that. Like we'd like you to come back." Netflix is just like, "We already know we gonna get your money. You still paying full price." And I'm like, Netflix, you thought? I don't know. It's like I'm in this mode where I don't really want to spend too much. It's like I want to. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saving for, but I'm saving for it, or I'm making sure I'm gonna have enough money for it. Don't know what it is yet, but I'm gonna be prepared for it when it comes. Make a new email. That's too much work. Um, and then I feel like I wouldn't even really watch it because like I had Netflix for months and I barely watched it, and I was like, that's a waste of money. That's what a lot of us do. It's like I don't know. Whenever it comes to like making new accounts to do stuff, I'm just like, I don't know. Because even like I'm just like, this is my account. This is my account. I ain't gonna make a new account. It's like if something isn't accessible to me, then it's not for me. I don't know. It's weird. But this is about hmm. So Prometheus gave fire to man, and that was the birth of the churches. That is when certain men and women and people were given access to that higher information and other people weren't. And so there's a lot of like, this is oppressive structure right here. And I was gonna say oppressive structures, but I was like, what is that? Excuse me. Or do you really want it or not? That doesn't apply to movie watching, folks. I mean, I don't want. There's a lot of stuff that I don't want enough to do a lot of things, and maybe that's one of my problems. Because the Taurus in my chart, I'm just like Venus. She up there chilling. She's like, I don't want it that bad. Like I'm fine. I'll live without it. I was doing fine before. I'll be fine after. Um, and that's like with that's why like low key, whenever someone like makes me choose like them over somebody else, or whenever somebody's like, well, if you're really my friend, you'll do this, and I'm about to be like, well, you're about to hurt your own feelings. Be careful of what you say, because you're about to find out how much I'm not gonna do for you, and then your feelings are gonna be hurt. Because if I was really your friend, like I would do that. Well, you're about to find out that I'm not gonna do it. And so I guess that means that we ain't really friends, because I don't want anything that much. Like, and you're not that important to me. So sorry. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Like, I'm a Taurus moon and rising. I got Taurus in my first house, in my house of self, and Taurus isn't really an energy that does stuff that it doesn't want to do. Like, it doesn't do that, right? That's why if you see like dating a Taurus, or here's a Taurus, and they'd be like, haha, like we should do the thing that I said. Like, I'm Taurus high key. Like, I will go alone. I will separate from a friend group if they're doing something that I don't want to do. And I'm going to go do what I want to do, because why would I do something I don't want to do? Like, my time, life is short. My time is precious. And you can't get a refund on time. Yeah. Like, they know what you're into. And so, like, they'll know to give it to you in ways that make sense for you. Just like when like people go to certain readers and how different readers have different meanings for different cards, it's because like they know what cards to show you to get you the message out that needs to get out. But at the same time, if it speaks to the other person in a different way, then it also speaks to them in a different way. You know what I mean? They know all of us. So, and that's another reason why like I don't too much get into a lot of stuff. And it's like where I am on my journey, it's like I'm coming across stuff that I've already done. I've come across stuff that I've been doing. I've come across things that I knew absolutely nothing about to get you to certain places that I've already reached. And so it's like if you're connected to yourself, like if you're connected to that divine spark that we all have within us, and if your lines of communication are open, and if you have that relationship of trust, then it's like you don't have to go to other people to find the ways that you need to get to places. Like you'll just naturally reach those places. And so that's why I don't necessarily too much feel like I have to like, I don't know, whenever I come upon something new for me, it's like I need to like go connect to myself. I need to go meditate. I need to go find a quiet place. I need to detach from everything else and find it within me, because that's just how I've always done it. And so there are the people who say like you should do this or you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't do this or you should do that. And I'm just like, if it's for me to do, like I'll come to that point when I come to that point. I don't need somebody else to tell me what I should or shouldn't be doing to reach whatever, because all of our paths are different and we're all different people. Um, but with this feels like an oppressive sort of like mental structure, and that's what's being healed. And so, like, even with that Promethean spark, even with the knowledge that you have access to whatever, it's like there's still some kind of blockage, some kind of barrier and boundary there. And this is all about the realm of thoughts. So this is the energy of this is like blocked communication, because there's healing that needs to be done. Maybe it's interference from an unhealed shadow. Maybe it's interference from different kind of things. But like we can't even receive whatever is being sent to us. Emergency line, just in case. It's another line of communication. Yeah. And like I'm the type, like I've always been a person who likes to think that I'm unique. And so a lot of times it's like the things that work for me don't necessarily work for other people, and the things that work for other people don't work for me. And I guess I was on my buddy's Facebook. really quick for a second the other night because he goes on every lunation cycle. And he was talking about the nodes, right? And I was like, the North Node just shifted into Gemini, and my South Node is in Gemini. So the direction that we're heading in is like the place that I'm supposed to be coming out of. So it's like, I'm kind of sort of comfortable in this energy because it's like, oh yeah, been there, done that. Like, I already kind of sort of know what's up. I could give y'all some pointers, but y'all got to figure it out on your own. It's Gemini, it's Mercury. I mean, Mercury does listen, but Mercury is also a very active planet. But with the North Node and Sagittarius in the eighth house, he was like, it's all about doing spirituality your way. Like, you're not going to be able to do it anybody else's way. And I was like, yeah, that's accurate. And then I looked at my decans or my Sabian symbols, right? And it was like a person walking a narrow path. And then for my moon, it was like two cobblers sit at a table. And then I'm a like fully decorated Christmas tree rising, right? So a lot of the stuff that I need, I already have access to. And so that's why my path is a lot narrower. And that's why a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be sort of getting into, it's like I can pick up hints and tips from other people, but there isn't one person that I can pretty much follow because it's like, you know, get a little bit here, get a little bit there. I already learned what I need. Okay, I'm gone. I'm good. Yeah. But yeah, that's North Node and Sagittarius in the eighth house because the eighth house is all about, you know, all of that deep stuff and death, sex, transformation, the occult, stuff like that. Sagittarius is all about philosophy and higher education, specialization, becoming a sage, right? Sagittarius. And that's my North Node. So I can't do things the way that everybody else is doing it. That's my South Node in Gemini. I have to go outside of the local to get to where I'm actually supposed to be. I mean, that's Sagittarian energy. That's the arrow shot from the ground that pierces the heavens, right? Anyway, um, and so yeah, when it comes to there's blocked communication here, and it's like there's something trying to fight, like Promethean energy. There's something fighting to open these lines of communication, but it's like you can you can open up the lines of communication all you want, but if no one has the receiver on, they're not going to get the message. And so there's this healing being done to get people to receive the message, but I don't know. I don't know. Heavy Sagittarius, so I know. Yeah. But I feel like there's also a shadow side to Sagittarius, right? I feel like Sagittarius is also the energy that will try to reinvent the wheel and will spend a lifetime trying to reinvent the wheel when the wheel is already there. And I think that's probably like a South Node in Sagittarius. It's like, why are you already trying to do what's done? But then South Node in Sagittarius could also be clinging too much to what's already established, where you're not going and you're not doing anything new. And I think that's kind of sort of the space that we're in right now, right? It's all about creating new systems. It's all about going about things in a different way. With everything that's happening right now, Sagittarius South Node is telling us you like things that are well established right now, not going to get us to where we need to go. It's time to do something brand new. It's time to step out of that expansive Jupiterian energy, and it's time to step into that like hyperactive Mercurial energy. It's almost a time for trial and error in a way. In a lot of ways, it's time for trial and error because it's like if you expand on something, it's like trying to renovate an old building when it would be cheaper and quicker and easier to just tear it down and to build something brand new. It's like trying to update an old system. It's like trying to take a Mac from, I don't know, like 1992 and trying to get it to the standards of today, where it's like, it's just not going to happen. Like, no matter how many software upgrades you do, it's not going to change the hardware. Shadow to every sign. You are already trying to go against the grain. I was born against the grain. Let me stop. I've never really seen the point in a lot of things that people try to fit into, and nobody ever really seemed happy. So I was like, yeah, I could be the same brand of miserable as everyone else, but no, thank you. Okay, let's get into the Golden Shield and the Archangel of Glory to wrap this up. The Golden Shield and the Archangel of Glory. Lots of things happening and going down right now. Oh, wow! 2 pages, 2 messengers. Stronghold of the Zephyrs and the Stronghold of Flame. Wow, the masculine messengers too. Oof. Okay. All right. I gotta go to the bathroom. So I'm actually gonna get up and do that. I'm gonna let this card think on this. The 10 of Pentacles. Look at that tree of life. The sun and the moon. 3 things that can't long be hidden. The sun, the moon, and the truth. Bottom of the deck is the 8. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and I washed my hands, y'all. I promise. What are you saying? Think everything as it is. You think that's why you pull so many theories, reconstruct what has already been said. Just too many possibilities, infinite possibilities. That's the Sagittarian trap, because it's just like a trap of Jupiter. And it makes it especially hard for Pisces because they also get that Neptunian influence where it's like you expand and expand and expand and expand. And then with Pisces, you start to get into the realms, like higher realms of fantasy. And that's when you get dangerously close to like illusion, right? And it's like with our limited lifetimes, it's like we kind of sort of go beyond the bounds of what we necessarily need to. Um, right? Because it's like you don't necessarily have to understand how a car works to learn to drive a car. You don't need to understand human anatomy to like live and to breathe. Like the body pretty much takes care of itself, right? But it's like for the engineers, for the people who design cars, for the people who heal bodies, for the people who need to know that anatomy, then it's like it's for them to expand upon. But for the people who are called in different directions, they don't necessarily need to know. Oh my gosh. Okay, they came out. The page of the Stronghold of Zephyrs and the Stronghold of the Flames. What is up with all the messengers coming out now? So first we'll see what the message of the Stronghold of the Flames is. Rather than can't find proof. It's all about learning. I would say though, well no, I think that's it. Ooh, 9 of Swords. What else? Oh, ew. 1 second. I just sometimes there are moments in the day you just gotta breathe. Or hold the breath. I think holding my breath actually helped more. Huh, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Shout out to Teen Wolf for the info. Just like analytical is a gift and a curse for you. Yeah. I mean, you have a Sagittarius South Node and a lot of Sagittarian energy in your chart. So, like, I don't have anything on Gemini. So, I don't have any energy backing the space that I'm supposed to be elevating myself out of. And I don't have any energy in the space that, like, my second house and my eighth house are empty besides the nodes. Gemini and Sagittarius, for me, they're empty besides the nodes. So, I don't have that energy kind of sort of like, no, stay here, where you're supposed to be like moving beyond it or going outside of it or approaching it in a different way. Okay, this is interesting. So 9 of Swords, the Ebony Shield, and the Holy Sea. That's Gemini, Capricorn, and Taurus energy. I feel like that's saying that for some of us, our desires are still limited by our experiences. And you're not going to proceed to the space that you want. Ooh, 8 of Wands. Oh, it's up right now, but it was in reverse when I pulled it. Wands, 8 of Cups in reverse. I feel like, yeah, these are still all upright. I don't know how that came out reverse. I'm going to put it back upright because, this is an all upright deck. But it's like we can't walk away from the things that we don't know are holding us back. And I feel like with the 9 of Swords and the Holy Sea, it's almost like, oh, it didn't upload. Okay. So Chariot at the bottom. So really quick, this energy came out yesterday. And I was like, this Archangel, this Ebony Shield is the divine that sits outside of our reality. That gatekeeps what comes in and what goes out of it. And this energy will have us stationing fragments of ourselves at that border. And so there are things that the divine wouldn't allow into our experience that we call for because of whatever sort of upbringing or whatever chains we have, right? But it's like when we release those boundaries, when we release those blockages, it's like not only do they allow things into our reality that we don't want, but they also keep out things that we do want. And so it's like we're over. It's like you have too many guards at the border, and so they get bored, and so they start to do stuff that they shouldn't be doing, right? Where like all you need is this one, everybody else can go home. This is the unofficially appointed to some people person who does it the best. but we don't trust this person's authority and their judgment, and so we send all of this other stuff there to also sort of gatekeep, and then that's what really messes stuff up. And that's this, like, you can't walk away from things that you don't even know. It's like there are blockages that you have, or we have erected and created in ways that we don't even fully understand and comprehend. And with this Page of Wands, it's like it's what's keeping us from the things that we actually desire. And it creates a limit on things that we desire. And so it by default keeps us in this space of complacency. And it's like you have this much area that you're working with, but you only think you have this much. And so for yourself, you create all of these different levels and layers within this space of like, this is how I'm going to grow. Like, this will be my life, but this is what's available to you. Right. But you're playing here because that's what you feel. Um, I mean, it's your life and your experience. So, what does this Stronghold of the Zephyrs have to say? You don't have any Gemini other than asteroids. Yeah. So, your South Node is like heavily influenced. So that may be one reason why, like, if you find yourself, I don't know. I mean, maybe you're supposed to. I don't know. Right. um, with Mercury, maybe, because Mercury is androgynous planet. Mercury isn't really assigned to a gender, and so it's like the feminine side and the masculine side of Mercury may be less extreme, right? Bottom of the deck is the Magician. Speaking of Mercury, this is mercurial energy. Maybe the Magician is saying like, yeah, it would work. Sure, why not? Um, yeah, since like Mercury is androgynous, it's kind of hermaphroditic. It has both masculine and feminine qualities. I feel like that may work, right? But with another planet like Venus, I don't think like Taurus and Libra are necessarily like, or like Mars, because Mars is a very, it's like the like prime masculine planet, right? And so you can have Scorpio energy, but Scorpio energy isn't necessarily going to push you forward like the masculine side of Mars will. Because the masculine side of Mars is all about showing other people that you have that power. That's the conquest side of Mars. Whereas the Scorpio side of Mars is about being the warrior within yourself and standing your own ground, right? It's like Scorpio is the guard at home, and Mars is the conqueror that goes and conquers other lands, right? But with Mercury, it might work. Something to think about. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try, right? You got to use what you have at your disposal. So if that's all you got, then use it. So over here is the Two of Swords and the Shining Dew on top of this Stronghold of the Zephyrs. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, is what just came to mind. And a mind is a terrible thing to waste in terms of having your. Oh, it's almost been 2 hours. I need to hurry up and wrap this up. It's 12:50. I'm already like 20 minutes over. I kind of want to pull more cards. See, this is the trap I'll be falling into. That's why, like, when I wake up at like 4, 5, 6, whatever in the morning, I try to upload my little daily bite, and then I go back to sleep. So when I wake up, I can just do work. But I did the little daily bite today, and I was like, I want to see what the cards are. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm at this point where I'm flowing with it because I know I'm gonna get it finished. I'm not really worried about it, but it's also for me to stay cognizant of it. But it's like a mind is a terrible thing to waste in terms of like not having your thoughts back your heart. Like to have your mind and your heart not on the same page is to waste the potential of the mind, right? If you're thinking about things that you don't want, if you're consumed by worst case scenarios, it's kind of like you're wasting your mind, and you're wasting it by means of like it working against you instead of it working with you. Um, and so over here, the Page of Wands is like you're keeping yourselves from what you actually desire in ways that you may not even be cognizant and aware of. And then the Page of Swords is like you're giving too much time, energy, attention, focus to things that you don't actually want. And the things that you do want, it's like you're talking yourself out of it. They're trying to help somebody manifest something. I mean, the Magician is at the bottom of the deck with the Lovers right behind it, right? This is about choice, and this is about acting on those choices. This is about aligned action. The Magician and the Lovers, that's aligned action. Oh, all right, let's get to the Scar. Oh, wait, are these upright? Oh, did I just put those in reverse? Hold up. This is an all upright deck. Yeah, they are upright. Okay, nice. I think. Yeah, they are. Oh, there's the Keeper. Okay. Archangel of Glory and the Scarlet Shield. Golden Shield. Oh my gosh, I'm doing that. Golden Shield and the Archangel of Glory. These dreams, though, I'm just like, oof. And I almost escaped the dream, but I decided to go back to sleep, and it was the last dream I had before I decided to wake up. And I was just like, you know what? I ain't going back to sleep. Up now. Oof. Hold up. Okay. Gosh. I don't know how much longer I can take this. I'm just like, goodness. It's fine. Oh, the cards at the cut. These cards be cutting up. Let me stop. Okay, all right. Well then, all right. Scarlet Shield, Golden Shield. Why do I keep saying Scarlet? Golden Shield and the Archangel of Glory. Golden Shield and the Archangel of Glory. Ooh, give it a cut right there, and we're ready to go. Bottom of the deck, first card, the Outlaw, followed by the Force. Oh, is somebody forcing themselves into a situation? This is I feel like this is no energy. This is no energy. I feel like the one thing that the Hangman isn't about is force. Now, if this is having the strength to stand on one's own conviction, that's a good thing. But if this is about forcing something that isn't ready, then that's like no, don't do that. But if that's about having the strength to pursue something regardless of how you look, then yes, do that. So take it as it resonates. Is this the Golden Shield? Nope, the Ebony Shield. Darn it. Scarlet Shield. Ooh, so the Empress this time, she's coming out between the Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. So I feel like that means that when it comes to the realm of desire, since we're looking for fire now, the seeds that we planted, depending on how many seeds you planted, and then here's that Ace of Wands, the Initiate, and the Nine of Swords, followed by the Apocalypse. Depending on how many seeds you planted, it's like one of those seeds is a good seed, Empress. And you should know. Oh wow. Look at that. Oh, look at this. Speaking of, like I said, the Six of Cups is rewriting stories. You have the Six of Cups, the healer, the Archangel of Healing, and then this demon. The healer and the Archangel of Healing came out together to face that devil, to rewrite that story. I love that. Love that. Oh, the sun and the world came out together. That's interesting. Justice and the Chancellor and the Reaper came out together. With the Bread of Life, Ace of Orbs right behind him. Ace of Orbs with okay. Ace of Orbs with that Stronghold of the Veil. Um, ooh, ooh, but the Magician and the Tower. Okay. There's the Chariots. Ten of Orbs into the Eight of Scepters. That's interesting. I'm like halfway through this deck and they have not made an appearance. The Archangel Commander is sitting between the Nine of Cups and the Hermit. Right. Siri? Ain't nobody even say Siri. Between the Nine of Cups. Well, let's see what this is about. Knight of Cups, tarot card meanings, Vidi Tarot. Oh, well, it's gone now. I was reading it, but Siri said, hi, JK, never mind. This is all about, I'm looking for fire, right? This is a purifying flame. So remember how I said that it's like there are things that we desire that are basically inaccessible to us because of whatever has been placed upon us? This is someone who is raising the roof because they found something that they want. I literally felt this energy. Literally felt that Ten of Wands energy. And it was sitting right there. Because it's like, you know, it's inaccessible to us because of all of the burdens and the baggage that we're carrying with us. But this is being led by that desire in a way that fixes all of that internally so that you can claim it externally. Ooh, love that. Love that. Ooh, the keeper. The keeper in the Four of Wands. Okay. Okay, all right. Wheel of Fortune with the Queen of ooh. Okay, well, Ten of Cups, Two of Cups, Two of Swords, Emperor, and the Seeker. I have this many cards left, and neither one of these have come out yet. So either these are some deep, deep, deep desires, or these are some desires that we think are unattainable and unreachable. And it may be more of that because of what the Stronghold of the Flame just said. Here's the Golden Shield. Power and Authority of Fire. So we have, well, first is the Three of Wands sitting outside. The Three of Wands with the Stronghold of the Zephyrs. We have the Angel, which is Temperance energy. Interesting. The Scarlet Shield, Queen of Wands, and the Archangel of Mysteries, King of Pentacles. So this is the second time that a queen has come out with a king of a different suit. Last time, the Scarlet Shield came out with the Archangel of Healing. This time, the Golden Shield is coming out with the Archangel of Mysteries and this angel, with the lovers sitting after that Archangel of Mysteries. Secret lovers are hidden lovers. Okay, now we have this Three of Orbs, the Mason, with the Archangel of Glory and the Shining Winds, Knight of Swords. And sitting outside of these, the High Priestess and the Six of Swords. So someone knows that they're going to have to move to claim this. The last four cards are the Destroyer, Ten of Swords, the Contender, Five of Wands, the Corruptor, Seven of Chalices, and the Holy Water, Ace of Chalices. Interesting. And then the Outlaw was the one card that didn't want to leave the table. So when it comes to the realms of desire and fire, this could also be the realm of the truest self, right? Sacred fire. One second. All right, so I'm distracted now. Okay. The Mason and the Knight of Swords. I feel like this is the energy of like, I don't know what I'm working towards, but I know it's going to be big. It may be an artistic endeavor because it is, maybe not, but it might be an artistic endeavor. Or you may find an unlikely partner in an artistic endeavor. This is the Knight from the unseen realms. With Universal Mercury, that's the ability to perceive everything. But this is an, I wanted to say eternal perception, but it's not eternal. A universal perception that's given because you're looking at things from a higher dimensionality. And so, whatever this is, right, because with this being the King of Wands, this is all about expression and the fulfillment or the manifestation of desire through expression, right? Like that's the manifestation being like a song, a painting, whatever creative outlet, right? That's it's about an expression. And so this 3D partnership, this 3D project is the expression of something much higher. Right. So let's say, perhaps, that there is a special dynamic that exists, a special type of relationship that exists that when two people come together, there is a recognition of the other on a soul level. And once they come together, when they merge on the physical plane, it gives higher access to the things that happen on higher dimensionalities, right? It's like if you're always on the same page, or if, like if you can easily get on the same page, if you could feed off of each other intellectually, like that's one of those things, right? Where it's like you share the same presence physically, and because you share the same presence physically, it also bridges that mental gap. Because again, it's like it's less dense up here and more dense down here. So if you're already together down here, you decrease the distance up here as well. And so there's this more effortless, quick communication. But it also happens on levels above that. And that's what like this unseen partnership kind of sort of is. And so once you really come into the fullness of who you are, and then you enter a partnership with someone who's in the fullness of who they are, imagine how much you can elevate that even more. Then the Archangel of Mysteries, the angel who illuminates the shadow, speaking of unseen things, right? So we have the Archangel of Mysteries with this angel card. So it's almost like this level of partnership, because this is the feminine side, right? So on the masculine side, it's like you're able to come together to produce these things that carry that level of information, but it's because you're in a space to receive it in the first place with the Archangel of Mysteries and with the angel, right? Because the two cups, it's like this is spirit, and the two cups are these two people. And so it's like spirit, God, the divine, whatever inspirational, higher vibrational source there is for you, can pour and work through the both of you. And that illuminates or gives space for things that are yet too unattainable. It's like they're too high to reach from here. Imagine a dynamic like that. Yeah, that's what this is about. I feel like that I didn't expect. Well, I guess I should have expected it, because fire can also be the soul, right? The soul spark. It's what that powers the vessels that we're in, right? It's what gives our body the ability to be animate, and that's why even it's like sometimes maybe a soul. It's like a vessel can be vacant, and so you may get someone who's like physically still alive, but not doing anything. It's like they're vacant. Um, I just heard like, you are the breath and I am the body. Okay. What card is this? Archangel of Shields came out. Archangel of Shields. Oh my gosh, the Scarlet Shield. The Scarlet Shield. I don't know why I always mix golden and stuff. So I mean, I'm already this late, so I am just gonna go ahead and look for the Emperor and the Empress real quick as a sort of overall general masculine, feminine energy. I'm gonna pull two, and we'll do the one before. So two before will be south, one before will be west, one after will be east, and two after will be north. Really quick. So I'm gonna try to just focus on this for a second. The Emperor and the Empress, masculine, feminine. These cards are shuffling so well right now. Well, as soon as I say it, it makes up. Ooh, well, 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. Ooh, but the 2 of Cups right here. The Star. And what is that I just picked up? Oh, the Haunt. So the Healer is behind the 9 of Swords. The 10, the 9, the 10, and the 2 of Cups all came out. The Page of Wands, Stronghold of the Veil, was between the 9 and 10 of Cups. And so it was the 9, the Page, and she's the one who comes from the realm of our desires, right? The Page of Fire. Bringing that 9, that 10, that 2. Oh. All right, I'll give it a few more and then I will begin. I'm really trying to make sure I get some, variety. There we go. That was a good one. One more, then I'll cut and then we'll start. So the Emperor and the Empress, I'll do it in 4. I don't know why. Well, I'm starting to get hungry. My mama made chicken noodle soup last night. I put a little bit of rosemary and a little bit of red chili pepper flakes in it. It was so good. Like, rosemary is the best Mary. Okay. Ooh, what was that? The Conservator and the Malays just came out. I guess these will be the overalls. Overalls. And what's this? The Scarlet Shield came out again. I'm actually going to put these back and shuffle us up. Because, Archangel Mysteries, I see you. Come on, I'm ready to be done. Y'all are eating baked potatoes. Oh, I got some potatoes still. That sounds so good. I might throw them in the air fryer though. Turn them into some chips. I would say French fries, but I cut too thin, so they ended up being like potato chips instead. They were really good though. I had a little bit of paprika on them, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Now I got some red chili pepper flakes. I can make them hot. I've been putting red chili pepper flakes on like everything. I love them. Okay. Ooh, that chicken noodle soup was so good last night. All right, bottom of the deck. The Lovers. The Lovers. Oh, followed by the Sharpshooter. 8 of Wands. Followed by Apocalypse, which is Judgment. All right, Lovers, come through. I'm not going to be talking about every single card that come out this time because I'm looking for the Emperor and the Empress, and I need to finish this. Need to wrap this up. Need to wrap this up. Oh, I literally picked these 2 cards up, and then the Emperor came out. So, to the south of the Emperor will be the Captor. How fitting. To the west of the Emperor is the Dynasty. There's the Emperor. To the east of the Emperor is the Erudite, which is the Hermit. And to the north of the Emperor is the Burdened one. 10 of. So, come on, Emperor. Come on, man. Come on. So we got the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the 10 of Wands sitting around him. Oh, wow. Okay, so how am I going to do this? Give me one moment. Because this is going to change things. So this is the South. Southwest. east, north. So the north of, oh, I don't have enough room. Okay. Gotta make even more room because they're making things difficult. Here we go. That should be enough. Made in Georgia. What is that? Is that after Let's Make a Deal? Okay, so the north of the Emperor is the south of the Empress because the Ten of Wands came out before the Chariot and then the Empress came out. So two cards before was two cards after for him. So that's interesting. So I just had to turn everything and shift everything so I could get all of these to fit. So south of the Empress is the Ten of Wands, the burdened one. West of the Empress is the Chariot. North of the Empress is the Golden Shield, which we just saw. And east of the Empress is the Ebony Shield. So either she is protected or she is guarded. That was random. It just popped into my mind. It was like, made in Georgia. I was like, what? Oh, this is so interesting. I should have pulled the card at the bottom. Give me an overall for these two. Oh, there it is. Oh, got a few. Oh, wow. Bottom of the deck is the Initiate. The cards that came out, the Wheel of Life and the Archangel of Mysteries. But the Initiate at the bottom of the deck. So, love that. Okay, so let's start with the South. So the ground that they're standing on, the Emperor is standing on the Eight of Swords, the captor. The Empress is standing on the Ten of Wands, the burdened one. And so I feel like remember how I said this? It's like this is your potential and this is what someone is working with. So this is where the emperor is, and like this is where the Empress is. Because his ceiling is her floor. Like the sky above his head, the stars that he's reaching for. Oh, that's sweet. Kinda. The star that he's reaching for is the ground at her feet. Right? Which doesn't feel great if you're this Emperor energy, thinking that the Empress is like above you, right? Or feeling that you're under her. But anyway, um, ew, was that a little pimpo? Anyway, so the ground at his feet is the captor. The ground at her feet is the burning one. Um, it seems like I don't know if the Emperor has ever felt worthy or deserving of anything, which is kind of sad. It's really sad. But like with the captor being like his foundation, I feel like not only like the Cinderella from Cheetah Girls just popped into my mind. So I feel like not only may he have he's never really felt worthy or deserving. Maybe also it's like he's been living his life waiting for someone to save him. And he's the masculine energy, so instead of the damsel in distress, this is a prince in peril. The prince is in peril, and the dashing damsel is coming to his rescue. I guess the daring damsel and the prince in peril. So we have a prince in peril down here. The wind at his back is the dynasty, right? Is the fulfillment of everything that he's sort of wanted. everything that he was wishing for, it's now within his reach, it's within his grasp. And it's actually interesting because this has the ability to put him in a space to free himself. Oh my gosh, did that upload? I did like 3 videos yesterday and only one of them is up. I don't think it did. It didn't. So I got this image of like someone whose like back is like their back has been against the wall for so long that their back is now fused to the stones of the wall. And so for them to move forward, it's like they're literally tearing this flesh off of their back, trying to detach from whatever it is that they're so chained to. Like that's the level of like pain and discomfort that came to my mind. And I was like, oh, that's grisly. But I mean, if they've been in an Eight of Swords state like all of their lives, if Eight of Swords, the captor, has been become their default, that's what it's going to feel like to push beyond that for the first time. The imagery, I know, girl. It's grisly, it's gross, it's disgusting, but I'm like, oh, and I'm starting to feel like everything. So I'm like, Like I was watching Teen Wolf sometimes. I was like, it doesn't feel good. But that's it. It's like the same image just came to mind because he sees like the Ten of Pentacles right in front of him, but he's going to have to detach from something to claim it, and so he's going to end up rescuing himself. And I said that before. Where was it? It was either I was using the Lenormand cards when I did it. I don't remember, but it was like it's the same thing. It was like there's this prince who rides up to this castle. There's no dragon. There's no like brambles. Like the door is wide open. He goes in there. There's a sign that's like princess this way. He follows the signs. He finds her royal chambers. He peels back the canopy, whatever flowy thing, and like the bed is empty and there's a note there that's like, hey, already escaped from the tower, probably not coming back, so you're gonna have to find me out in the world somewhere. And it's like he reads the note and he's confused, and at that very moment it's like the sheets from the bed come up and grab him, put him in the bed. The cover that he just pulled back slides back, the dragon comes into existence, the doors disappear, the signs disappear, the brambles spring up, and it's like the tower was waiting for him, right? Because the princess already escaped it. And I was like, so now, because I was like, well, if she's not coming back to the tower because she already escaped the tower, like that's this burdened one, like she already got rid of her burdens, the sky, but like he's going to have to learn to get rid of his, right? But it's like she's not coming back to that tower for you. Like she already escaped that tower. She ain't going back. And so I was like, so wait, he's gonna have to rescue himself, and it's the same story. He's going to learn to save himself to claim everything that he wants. And so, if you are the princess of this story, sorry, you're not going to be able to save your prince in peril. So, dashing damsel, daring damsel, keep living your gosh darn life. And the prince in peril is going to have to be his own knight in shining armor. Um, But that's the wind at his back. That's what's pushing him forward. The challenge, though, is the tower. It's not the tower card because this isn't an external tower. This is an internal tower. The dragon is a beast of his own making. The brambles are his own iron type defenses. The disappearance of the signs is his refusal to, or it's not refusal, but the disappearance of the signs is like the things that he didn't see, that now it's interesting that the signs disappear when he needs them, because it's like that's all of the things within him that laid unseen is why the signs aren't there anymore, and he has to face this internal tower of his own darkness, and the star, the healer, is right there. um But he's got to heal himself to come out of this. And ultimately, what he's got to do is have a working faith in the divine and a trust that the things that they're taking from him are things that he is better off without. But honestly, this is the divine putting him through his test to claim this, right? This is a sacred. It's a and it's I was gonna look for this star, but I didn't. I was gonna look and see what the star was, but I didn't. But I picked this up because this is an initiation. And the initiate is right here at the top of the deck. But right behind that, I'm gonna put that on top of the star. So you got a little bit of hope, baby. Don't lose it. Keep moving forward. The initiate is right here. This is an initiation. This burdened one is an initiation. The Ten of Wands is a significant spiritual endeavor. It's a significant spiritual quest. And that's what he's coming upon. This is something that she's already gone through. Maybe she had to go through her spiritual initiation to make sure that she would be there to see you through yours, because you don't know who your empress was in the past, just like you don't know who your emperor was in the past. You have almost no knowledge of who the other person was before you met. And in your meeting, it's like you had to be at a certain point for you to even meet this person. And then I feel like there's a lot of like healing energy going on in the background that was elevating you from those spaces at that time, right? And so in these moments of separation, it's like you're getting insight into the other person. Maybe you're getting insight into who the other person is becoming or who they've become, or you're getting insight into who the other person was, right? Because like I said, one person is the empress has already gone through this initiation. This is the ground beneath her feet. The other person is going through or about to go through this initiation, and that is the ceiling. That's their limit right now. And that's why I said it's like this is the emperor, this is the empress. This is what they have together, and she's a lot closer with this. Like she's not gonna go below her ground. Like she said, I'm not coming back to that tower. So you're gonna have to be like Cinderella and rescue yourself from the cheetah girls, right? You're gonna have to rescue yourself, and he's gonna rescue himself. But that's, I mean, like she can't rescue him either. So if you resonate to this dynamic, to this story, and if you're the empress, you can't save the emperor. He's got to save himself. So, right, because he kind of, sort of, low-key put himself in this mess. Um, I mean, like he did, but he didn't. Right? He did, but he didn't. What is that? Ew. Now I'm gonna have to breathe again. Oh my gosh. That's why I'm like, I can't wait until things smooth out, because all of this is like it's too much. But I continue to just transmute it. Yeah. So now he's going through this initiation, and it's something that he has to do alone. And I think he knows that he has to do this alone. The healer, the star is the healer in this deck. You see that star? Okay, like it's star reminiscent. It's reminiscent of. Oh wait. Hold up. Yeah. It is the star. Okay, because at first I didn't see the extra little things, but yeah, because the ropes were in the way. That's a healing that he got to get himself. Just like you had to get your healing yourself, he gonna have to get his healing himself. And the more you healed, and the deeper you healed, is the deeper he's going to have to go. And this is so interesting because I remember um it's fine. Um so where he's got the dynasty, the Ten of Orbs at his back propelling him forward, she's got the chariot. So she ready to move. She like, I've been initiated. Like I've already gone through that. I've done a lot of that deep healing that I needed to do to become the person that I need to become the person who continuously moves forward and doesn't need such drastic pause with these dark nights to get the lesson, right? It's like I can get like she's like the dove is associated with the sacred water card. The sacred water card came out today. The dove, when it ascends, it's about healing, and when it descends, oh, what was the entry? I'm gonna read it real quick because it was so interesting the way it was worded. I was like, ooh, oh, I gotta find it again. One moment, excuse me. I love the way that she said it though. Oh wait, too far, too far. It was literally right there. Ace of Chalices. She said, when the dove emerges and ascends to heal, it submerges and descends to purify. So when it ascends, it heals. When it descends, it purifies. And so it's like this dove is descending to begin to purify this masculine emperor. And then it ascends as it heals, as he heals this emperor, right? Where was I going with that? I had the chariot at. Okay, so she's already moved. She's already done the healing. She's already done all that. Now he has to kind of sort of do the same to catch up. The challenge that she's coming upon, uh, her challenge may be waiting, but this isn't waiting in a stagnant sense of the word waiting. This is waiting with a compassion. Her challenge is going to be understanding what he's going through enough to give him lenience, to give him grace, to approach him with a level of empathy, of kindness, and understanding. Her challenge may be to remain warm, depending on however long it takes him to get through this. Because if it take him long enough, she may have already moved on. And it's like you'll get somebody else, right? Well, we're gonna boardroom again. It's like, okay, well, it took the emperor a lot longer to work through that sort of challenge than we thought it would have, and she wasn't gonna wait forever. So we already matched her up with somebody, and now that he's out of it, he may approach her, and she may be like, "Hey, like, I waited for you, but I had to keep moving. Like, I couldn't stay stuck. I waited for you, but I couldn't be stagnant for you. I couldn't be stuck for you." And so I've moved on and I found happiness, which is kind of what I wanted the whole time. But I found it with somebody else. And like we could be friends if you want to be friends. And he may be a little crushed. And so that may be a tower for him after he comes out of that initiation. But then depending on how he handles that tower, either he'll get recycled through another Dark Knight or he'll come to an understanding and then he'll get matched and paired with somebody else, right? But this is her oncoming challenge. So I don't think she's necessarily in that space yet where she's already moved on. But at her back is this chariot, and her challenge is the Queen of Pentacles, the slowest queen. So it's like, we are a queen, we're in our self worth, we've got it figured out, but you have the slowest queen And one of the fastest energies in the deck, right? It's the Chariot. Chariot is like, we're on the same page. We're healed now. We're cohesive. Okay, it's time to move, right? Because the Chariot is a cohesive energy. The Chariot comes when you integrate both. Is that 2, 3, 4? Oh, hold on, wait. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the timer. I've been on here way too long. I saw 2, 3, 4, and it was like 40 something, so I had to wait for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 17 is an 8. And 8 is a number of abundance. And then the sky that she's reaching for is this Scarlet Shield. The Scarlet Shield is the power and the authority of fire. So I feel like, whereas it's like one person maybe has never, really felt like enough, never felt like they were good enough, never felt like they were deserving, or they were made to feel that they're not good enough and made to feel undeserving of whatever it is he sees with her, right? Regardless of whether it's accurate or not, whatever he sees with her is triggering him to now go into his own hermit mode. And then you have this other person, you have this Empress, this Venusian energy that's never really wanted for anything, that's never really desired anything, right? It's like Rapunzel entangled. How long was she kind of sort of satisfied in that tower before she reached the point where she'd allow a complete stranger who she obviously didn't trust, right? That's why she had the frying pan, where she'd run away with a complete stranger. How long was she in that tower before her desire was great enough to get her to move with this Chariot? It's like now the desire is there, but this queen, this ebony shield, and again, the ebony shield is the guardian that stands at the gate of everything that comes into our reality. So the ebony shield is saying, this is something that you want. Do not, do not be so impatient and uncompassionate and compassionate. Is it not compassionate? I mean, that's what I heard, but I'm like, just because you move on doesn't mean that you don't have compassion, but does it? I don't know. But that's what came to mind. It's like, don't be so impatient and uncompassionate, incompassionate, not compassionate. I don't know. So void of compassion that you leave this behind because this is something that you want. And it would not have come into your experience like this. It wouldn't be hitting either of you like this if it weren't worth continuing. And it's like, you fought for it this long. You went through your initiation for this. Like, right? Like, so hold your horses. I want to see what's around the outlaw. Um because I mean, I found the star for him, so I'm gonna find the outlaw for her. Oh, there's that dove. Ooh, okay. Looking for the outlaw. Looking for the outlaw. Outlaw. Okay, well, this is interesting. So, more fire energy, and then there's the message. Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. That's hot. Uh, so, Ace of Wands and the Stronghold of the Zephyrs, the messenger from the unseen world, right? Sitting around this outlaw. I pulled a card to clarify what she's bringing, and the message that she's bringing is this Sun card. So that's exactly what I was saying that the Ebony Shield is saying. Like, you didn't go through your initiation to pass this up. Like, trust the guardian of your reality. Like, Ten of Wands could also, the burden one could also be closing karmic cycles, right? Getting karmic rewards, karmic justice, all of that stuff. And then we have this Queen of Wands. It's like what you desire and what you're manifesting are on the same page. Like they both came out, right? But it's not to be so impatient that you miss it, Empress. And so that's going to wrap up this. I don't think this is necessarily all. Oh, I wish I would have timestamped it. Maybe I'll timestamp it later if I get bored after I do all my work. I probably will. I'll make sure I timestamp it later to where I started reading the Archangel of Healing, the Archangel are each pair. And then here's that Mason again, that partnership. Magician at the bottom of the deck. Imagine that partnership that leads to that level of the High Priestess, that leads to that level of integration. Because it's like alone, you can reach a certain frequency after a certain amount of time. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Pentacles. Love that. The Wheel of Life. It's like alone, you can reach a certain frequency. But when you find someone who resonates at that frequency, you increase the intensity of it. And so it's like you reach higher, quicker with a resonant frequency because it amplifies, right? But if you have, oh my gosh, I literally just took this class. I took what was that class? A controls class, electronic controls class. And we talked about, no, was it that class or was it my principles of synthetic biology class? Or was it both? It may have been I think it might have been both. But there's this thing, I believe it's called impedance matching, where it's like if you have two signals that line up, they'll amplify. So like if you have a signal like this and another signal like this, if they're in resonance, they'll like amplify each other where they go higher. But if they're even a little bit off, like they're like this, so when this one is high and when this one is low, it like cancels each other out, right? And it's terrible without an actual thing. Impedance matching was something different. Impedance matching was completely different. But we talked about, so like in synthetic biology, genetic engineering, stuff like that, they take a controls approach. And so that's why I saw it two different ways. So when you have a high signal and a high signal, you get a higher signal. But if you have a high signal and a low signal, it's like they cancel each other out. And so if they're completely mismatched, it's like when this is high, this is low, then they basically flatline. And so it's like if you keep yourself in a situation where you're not aligned ever, then you're going to flatline. And you get these flatline relationships where you don't too much do anything. But if you can find someone and work with someone where you're resonating at the same time, where your highs and your highs match, you're going to amplify that signal so you can reach much, much higher. And that's that level of like Mason's partnership. What'd you say? Yeah. The conservator with the two of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, juggling and being standoffish. I'm not going to end it like that. But like I said, like, you know, be careful who you kind of sort of, is that the outlaw? No, it's the Two of Swords with the Two of Pentacles at the bottom of. Okay. Well, there's that initiate again. It's like, that's the reason why you just got to kind of sort of be careful. But at the same time, it can take you higher, you know. You could reach heights that you've never even dared dream. And that is why the Emperor is going through that hermit phase right now, coming out of that captor Eight of Swords mode. That's why he's facing his own darkness and integrating that, because it's like he would be the limiting force. And I don't want to call anybody limiting, but honestly, it is what it is, right? And if he can't integrate his own shadow, if he can't find that own healing, if he keeps himself limited and caged up, like he's going to do the same to you. And it's not going to work. And so it's not necessarily one person being better than the other person. It's one person giving in to their fears, giving in to their worries, and limiting themselves. And I feel like as soon as he proves to himself, oh my gosh, the Tower card. What's at the bottom of the deck? The Bereaved, the Three of Swords with the Tower at the top. This is where I'm going to end it. I'm actually going to I Ching around this. But it's like, until he does that, he's not going to be able to move forward. But it's like as soon as he can do that, as soon as he releases that limitation, I feel like he's going to spring right to the top. And he knows it. He just has to go on it. He has to do it. So the Tower... The Tower will be the top trigram, and the Bereaved will be the bottom trigram. The Tower is Thunder, of course. And the Three of Swords, Bereaved, is Heaven. So Thunder over Heaven. Ooh, I feel like I'm going to love this. I feel like I'm going to love it. Yes! Thunder over Heaven is number 34, Great Power. With great power comes response. I heard that yesterday or the day before. Someone was like, or was it in that like 75-minute ad that I watched or I listened to? It was somewhere. Someone was like, I met Stan Lee, one of my heroes. No. Fast. Forget. Oh, fast. It was Forget. Active. State. Oh, man, I wasn't going to remember. I wasn't going to forget. Forget. When you're learning something, you need to forget what you already know. Because if you come into a situation with preconceived notions, you're going to miss it. And that's the same about relationships, right? Especially when it comes to kind of sort of whenever you elevate yourself out of one situation, whenever you're calling for something higher, and when you get something higher, you have to forget everything that you knew because you're playing in a different set of dynamics, right? It's like, so take for instance, we'll talk about astrology. Let's say that you have your current astrological system. Let's say for whatever reason you go to planet Zignaflar, right? And the planets, the solar system around planet Zignaflar is different than that of planet Earth. So you're not going to go to Zignaflar looking at the transits around Earth, right? Even if you're in the same solar system, you're not going to go to Mars or Venus and look at the transits around Earth. You're going to look at the transits around Mars or Venus because your point of perspective has changed. So if you continue to abide by old systems, it's not going to go well, right? So step number 1 was forget. Step number 2 is active. And being active, he was talking about how, and especially the American education system, a lot of the times it's like you sitting, listening to somebody lecture to you for hours. And so you get bored, right? It's not very active. You don't form this like hands-on, I mean, different people learn in different ways. But whenever you have to engage, oh, I remember T now. Whenever you have to engage, T is teach. In case I forget. So it's forget, active, state, and teach, in case I forget. So at the active part, that's like you actually being involved, right? So let's say you forget everything that you knew about relationships and dynamics in the past because you encounter someone who breaks all of those molds because, again, we're not playing to the old cycle. We're in a new space. And this new space, new perspective brings new potentials. And so that's all about you being 100% engaged in the relationship, you being 100% engaged with this person, you learning this person and not pushing this person through all of the filters that you've already established, right? Because then it's like you may pick up these like false flags, right? And again, those are false flags based on patterns of observation that you have. Like whenever this person does this or whenever a person does that, then it leads to this in the past. So you're pushing this person through those filters, trying to pick them apart. And that kind of sort of goes along with the forget part. I don't know why I'm getting into this, and I don't even know if this is actual relationship advice. When I heard this on this ad, this was about learning like something new. It wasn't even about other people, but it kind of sort of is because you're learning somebody else, right? So it's like you're projecting onto them all of these worries, anxieties, and fears, and you're not actively engaged with that person. You're not taking them in as they are. And after you go through this hermit mode, right? After you go through your initiation, emperor, you'll begin to see that person more as they are. And that's why you sort of have that initiation. That's why you have that burden one. That's when you can begin to drop wands until you get like 6 and you claim victory. And then after you claim victory, you can drop 2 more. You can get that 4 of wands celebration, that mile marker. Then you can drop 3 more, be at that ace of wands, a single torch. And with that one wand, you can then become a king or a queen, right? Of wands. And so you have to step back from the 10, claim the 1, and then once you have the 1, you still have to move forward with it, right? Because you have to learn. That's why I was saying with the pages 2.0, it's better to be in a page 2.0 energy coming into everything, because kings and queens are going to have to unlearn and then relearn, right? If you're at a king or a queen, you're beyond the 10. So you're probably going to have to find out that what you're doing is, it's been 3 hours. Oh my gosh. You're going to find out that like you're going to it's like it's not like it's going to take you time to reach the point where you discover that things aren't working, right? Whereas if you're already at the 10, like you kind of sort of already know that things aren't working anyway. So it's to be active with that person, to learn them for them, and not through the filters that resulted from, or the filters that give rise to prevent further pain and to prevent further harm and to prevent yourself from wasting time. And a lot of those filters come from the shadow. And so to remove those filters, you have to do that shadow healing, that shadow integration. And also, it's like when you heal your shadow, it's like your shadow learns too. And so then you'll be able to sort of like redistribute certain weights. And it does less work. Next was state, right? And the state is all about the emotional, mental state of being that you're in. And so this leads from the inactive sort of learning, because like when you get bored, your brain is less engaged, so you retain less. But also, let's say you're in a very vulnerable emotional state. And so whenever you go back into that state, it's like it triggers everything that was sort of happening there the last time. And so let's say that for whatever reason, you come to this moment of separation. And let's say that you've healed since the last time you've been in that separation, but the separation takes you back to where you were before, right? It's state dependent. And so, even though the situations and the circumstances may be completely different, it's like you're defaulting to old vices, to old behaviors to try to find some kind of way to cope when you don't really need that anymore, because it's all about moving forward, right? The state could also be the happiness maybe that you felt at some point. And so that's the state that you're kind of sort of striving for. But it's just to be cognizant and aware of the state that you're in whenever you're engaging with something. Because when you know what state you're in, you know what kind of sort of programs are running on the background default, right? And so, like, if I'm upset and someone says something to me that makes me more upset, I could be like, Does that statement make me more upset because I'm already upset? And am I choosing to interpret that in a way that will make me more upset? Or is what that person said actually upsetting? Right? That gives you an ability to enter increased and further your discernment, right? And then the last part was teach. And he was like, whenever you learn something, learn it as if you're going to teach it to someone else, because when you teach someone else, you learn it twice, right? And when it comes to, I don't know how I'm trying to, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I don't know, maybe, I don't know. That's the compassion that the Queen of Pentacles, the Ebony Shield, was asking the Empress to have for the other person, right? It's because, like, you learned through going through your dark night, you learned through going through your initiation, and since you already went through it, you are naturally in the position to teach this other person who's coming behind you, right? And when you teach someone, you want to have that compassion. The Knight or the Queen of Wands is not necessarily the most patient and compassionate when it comes to like seeing someone else through their moments of weakness. And I feel like the Queen of Cups would be overly compassionate, where it would be a lot harder for her to keep herself from having her hands so far in it that like it's like you're messing it up. You're messing it up. You have to be detached enough that you're not going to try to dive in and do something for somebody else where they need to learn to do it for themselves. But you need to be compassionate enough that you don't completely detach. And that Queen of Pentacles, that Ebony Shield, is the perfect one. Like I said about the shields, like they put the perfect person on the job. If you don't have the trust, or if you're not healed enough that you try to throw extra people, like you're going to have too many people and not enough work. And then folks are going to start getting bored, and then they're going to start getting in trouble. Right. And not only are they going to start getting in trouble, but it's like they could be better utilized elsewhere. Uh, so anyway, it's like you're going to be, and then maybe like at the same time, you're going to be teaching them, you're going to be learning from them. Right. And so then now you're tripling your learning, because when you teach, you teach, you learn through the teaching, but they're also teaching you at the same time. And so since they're teaching, that's the resonant thing where it like doubles and triples and quadruples whenever you're in alignment. Uh, but yeah, now I'm gonna look at great power. I don't know where that came from. I was like, fast. What is that? I don't know. Okay, so I didn't even find it yet. I was like, what was that? Somebody said, was that, maybe that was it? No, somebody said they talked to Stanley. Maybe it was a different ad. Even the ads on YouTube have been speaking lately. And I've been trying to watch ads to support the content creators who are supporting us through, these times when a lot of folks are consuming content on YouTube. Um, Somebody said they asked Stanley who his favorite hero was, and he said Iron Man. And then they asked the other dude that worked with Stanley. I'm sorry, other dude. But they asked that dude who his favorite hero was, and he said Spider-Man. And then he automatically said, with great power comes great responsibility. But he said the likewise is also true. With great responsibility comes great power. And that's why that brought that to my mind. And when I was trying to recall which ad it was, it took me to that whole completely different ad. Anyway, so 34 is vigor, great power. Be alert and vigilant. This is Zhuang. Da Zhuang. Maybe. I don't know. Ooh, a union of power and strength. The force to exert is the force of amplifying. Oh my gosh. And I was just talking about amplification with that resonance. Your flock is still in danger, so be alert and vigilant. Summon great power by aligning yourself with the divine. Aligned action is something I've also said, right? Take the path that appeals to the divine, so that divinity will support you with power and strength. The sage will tread on paths that are aligned with universal laws and the cosmic order. Okay, I love that. And that's how this is going to wrap up. Moving forward, even if the divine path is the scarier path, and it probably will be, because the divine path is often the path that leads us outside of our comfort zone, because the divine path is often a path of growth. But yeah, it's been like 3 hours. Oh my gosh. I'm going to shut this down. Thank you for stopping in, Miyoshi. I'm going to timestamp this up later. I'm gonna get some chicken noodle soup first, and then I'm gonna get to work. Um, and yeah, things are moving. And now is not the time to get complacent. And now is not the time to pursue things with any less vigor than you were before. No problem. Hopefully, something in here resonated for somebody. It's a whole lot of whatever. My throat is getting dry. But I'm gonna catch y'all later. Gotta get to work too. Amen. Gotta put in work. 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 What is that? There's so many songs about work. I'm not even gonna try.